Hey pumpkin people, Cindy here. What do you say we have a tea party today? I've got my best Wedgewood china. Yes? No, this isn't how I throw a tea party. I'm talking about compost tea. Let me show you how I make it. So it's not so important what you wear to the tea party. I've got on my cleanest pair of dirty overalls here. But you do want to make sure your tea brewer is clean. Let's take a look at mine. All right, here's my setup. I've got a 50-gallon barrel and I put it on a couple of pallets. I might put it on one more pallet actually, just so I can use my faucet there to either fill up buckets or totes or gravity feed it from a hose. Another thing I've done is just used my Harbor Freight pump to pump it out and hose it to my plants. Check it out. It's kind of dirty. So that's actually not dirt. That's tea residue from last time, and we've got to get that really cleaned and scrubbed out. That's why I've got my scrub brush here. So the reason why we've got to clean that out is because we don't want all of our microorganisms we're trying to feed and develop and cultivate to get stuck in there on that residue, because they'll want to hang out and be stuck on there unless we've got it all cleaned out. So it really is helpful too to have your brewer next to a water source. So I've got it right here next to my water board. Okay, I've got the brewer all scrubbed out, and I've got that thing all scrubbed out too. It was kind of grimy. I'll tell you about that in a second. I put an extra little pallet on there. This is a great way to use your pallets during the season. You know, we spend the year stealing pallets and stowing them. I'm not stealing, like borrowing. I mean, not really borrowing, taking, well, using, finding pallets. And so this is a great way to use them before we need them for harvest time, using your compost tea. So anyhow, first thing we want to do is put in one of these things. This is a soaker hose. All I did was I took the label off of it, and it's got its strappings on there still, and it's hooked up on the end with a hose clamp here to just an air line. And I've got that air line running to my little patch air compressor. So we're gonna just pop this in here in the bottom. And once I fill that up with water, it is not going to stay down. And so that's where this comes in handy. And so I just made that out of PVC, and it's just a hold down. So I pop that in. Show you what we got going on here. There it is. That holds that down, and then I'm going to use this to run a piece of rebar. Let me show you. Right, so I ran a piece of rebar through a hole I drilled in this barrel, through this doodad here, and out the other side. Just be careful not to impale yourself. Sometimes I put like an old tennis ball on there so I don't impale myself. But essentially, when you fill this thing up with water, all this is going to want to float up, and this is going to keep your air bubbler down in the bottom where it should be. See, it's locked in. Plus, this rebar or this makes a really handy place to tie your tea bag off to. Alright, I've got my tea bag all set, and all this is a paint strainer bag. You could probably get this at any hardware store. That's probably where I got it, or paint store. Anyways, I filled it up with goodies, and then I just tied it with some yarn, or you can use twine or whatever you want. And we're gonna hang that and suspend it so that it's getting hit by the bubbles. What do I have in here, you wonder? I have got 12 cups of worm castings. I have got 12 cups of alfalfa pellets. And I put in 12 cups of BE Plus, which has all kinds of awesome things like chitins in it that are going to really support the growth of the microorganisms. I'm super excited. All right, this is filling up with water right now, and I'm going to add a couple more things. I love this 5-2 Wonder Blend from Wallace Organic Wonder. I'm going to add 10 teaspoons of that to my 50-gallon barrel, and I'm going to add a liter of unsulfured molasses. So a lot of people think compost tea is dumb. It's got low NPK. That's not going to feed your pumpkins. No, it's not going to feed the pumpkins, but it's going to promote biological activity in my soil. And those biological guys are going to feed my pumpkins with their symbiotic relationship that they form with the roots. So let's add some of this other good stuff. Okay, it wouldn't be a tea party without bringing out the Wedgewood fine china. Let's dump that in there. Oh, what happened to my water? There we go. I got that water going again. So 10 teaspoons of the 5-2 Wonder Blend. And now we're going to add a liter of molasses. Okay, after I put in the 5-2 Wonder Blend, which is kelp and humic and fulvic acid, as well as the molasses, I finish it off with a liter of hydrolyzed fish. So this is the stuff I used. And all right, you can probably hear my little air compressor going. Let's look inside as this fills up. It's bubbling. So I'm going to fill this all the way up to the top, and I'm going to let it just brew for 24 hours. And I don't heat up the water or anything like that. Just well water coming out of my well. And 24 hours tomorrow, this time tomorrow, I will be spreading it throughout my patch. Alright guys, I hope you liked my recipe for compost tea. Maybe give it a try and let me know how it improved your grow.